This selection of audio from Fables of Frost and Fur by Roll for Impact contains themes of emotional abuse, gun violence, fantasy violence, blood and gore, animal harm, and animal death. Kaylee, make a wisdom saving throw. The DC is 23.
Oh my gosh.
13 on the die plus 3, only 16.
Vianne takes 45 psychic damage.
Oh! Holy shit. Oh.
Well now, you've made me very angry, little kid. How dare you? I have given you all the delicious things your pathetic world has to offer, and you dare shut me out? It's okay. I forgive you. That is, if you just return to me, and you do exactly as I tell you. You've made it this far, and all I've ever told you is to bring the girl south. And you've done so. And you're so close. Just a little more, little kid, and it'll all be over. So, I'm going to offer you a deal, just like the one we made 30 years ago. You keep the ring off, and you are going to make sure that she kisses him. Barring that, I understand that these young ones are so fickle. If she refuses, I want you to find a way to make him vulnerable. And when he is, you will slit his throat. If you are willing to do this for me, I will answer for you one question, whatever you'd like to know. Do we have a deal?
I can't. And as every breath grows harder to keep in her lungs, as every word of his hateful, mocking voice pierces deep at her soul, Vianne begins to die.
Harlan notices a horrific spasm in Vianne as she momentarily stops breathing.
That looks like a clear signal as any. And Harlan takes the ring of mind shielding and puts it back onto Vianne's finger.
Matt, I want you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
The DC for this is 10.
Oh boy. I will use my heroic inspiration. After using heroic inspiration was a 2.
No.
He hears a loud crash and the breaking of glass. The bird with too many eyes flies in and it swoops and grabs the ring in between its disgusting little beak, and it flies high up, floating just out of reach of Harlan.
Dungeon Master, would you like a death saving throw?
I would.
That's a 10. Barely hanging on.
Right. Alright. Playing this game of keep away? Keep away from this. And he pulls out his pistol and fires. For a 16 to hit.
A 16 hits as the shot rings out in this small room. Time slows. It's the magic bullet made of pure mist of the wondrous sea solidified. Like a spear flying through the night, pierces the familiar through the chest. It dissipates with a deafening squawk. The ring falls. Tick-tock, little kids. Do we have a deal?
I can't.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
17 in total on the wisdom throw.
Vianne hears the voice louder than she has ever heard it in her entire life.
Take the deal.
She takes 28 points of damage.
Hey, that's not death outright, but that's really close. That is 1 death failure and 1 success. And she replies, I won't.
Harlan runs to get the ring and puts it back onto her finger.
Vianne once more savors the sound of silence.
I would like to use my bonus action to try to lay on hands.
Matt,
I know.
I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw. The DC for this is 15.
2.
Oh my god.
As he reaches his hands out and tries to channel that cool, soothing mist that saved and revitalized Poppy before, he sees in his mind for a brief instant a frozen lake, clear as day, and a black wolf chains, and the chains dig into its fur, and it bleeds and it cries out, and the power fails. Because that Constitution saving throw failed by so much, Harlan takes another point of exhaustion. He now has 3 points of exhaustion.
I think you need another death saving throw.
Yes, I do.
That is a 13.
Harlan runs to his bag and starts tearing through it, looking for anything that might help.
He rummages through his bag, and by some miracle, Harlan finds a healer's kit.
All right. Come on, stay with me. Stay with me. His hands go through the right motions, and he stabilizes Vianne using the kit.
Harlan. Oh. Harlan barely has any strength of his own, but he rolls Vianne onto her side and cradles her, rocking her with every sob. Everyone's afraid of death, right? But the patron is an artist with his pain, and the abstract fear of the unknown doesn't hurt as much as old traumas. Life is so much more creative than death. Vianne is alive, but she is so deeply wounded.
We turn back to just a few moments before this, to a beautiful bedroom, wonderfully decorated and meticulously well kept, ancient in its design and its craft. And we center in to a large 4-poster bed and a human girl sitting on it as she looks out into the wondrous sea, staring at a gorgeous white fox with 9 tails.
A single tear rolls down Poppy's cheek as she stares into, for all intents and purposes, the eyes of her predecessor. And there is so much sadness and anguish and sympathy for this being in front of her. You were just like me then. Why? Why? How? I don't understand. How did he pick you? How did he pick me? Is there anything?
There's nothing.
Poppy falls to her knees. Laughter, despite everything. But it quickly convulses into sobs. Maybe in the back of her mind she always knew there was no reason that this was her. It could have been anyone. So what's his plan? What's his twisted game? We're no messiah, you just proved it.
He needs you, Poppy.
Only a human may lift the curse.
Why does he want it lifted?
He wants to be in our world, Poppy. He is sick of the nothingness that is the wondrous sea, and he craves his freedom.
Why are you here?
Because I was alone, Poppy, and I failed. I had no one. And I ran, and I ran, and I learned as fast as I could, but they caught me eventually. And the Rhyme Wardens, for all of their faults, they were quick, and they were merciful. They will find you if you don't go to Artois and do what he says. This is your chance, Poppy. You can lift the curse.
I'll lift this curse and a new one falls upon the land. That's not salvation. That's dooming everyone.
But you could save yourself, Poppy. You could live.
No. No, I don't think I want to live in that.
Poppy, if you return to the wondrous sea, will you stay with me? Please?
Both of Poppy's hands reach out to cup the fur on her head. I will. I'll be back for you, one way or the other. And she slams her eyes shut.
When Poppy opens her eyes again, she finds herself staring through large, clear windows, and she can see the full moon shining bright into this bedroom. And then she hears a gunshot.
She takes off.
As she sprints to the infirmary, she finds Uncle Harlan over a body, and his face tired.
What happened? What's Veering?
Come here, come here, come here, come here. She's alright, she's alright. You're alright, right? Not gonna let anything happen to you.
Poppy, with firm but still gentle hands, light green energy pulses out of her palms into Vien's body as she casts Cure Wounds on her.
Poppy, I'm so sorry. Poppy, I would die before I hurt you, Poppy. I would die before I hurt you.
It's okay. It's okay. What? You don't have to talk right now. It's okay. Poppy buries her face in the crook of Vien's neck and hugs her as tightly as she can.
The fur is soaked through with tears and sweat. You mustn't give him what he wants.
It's been him all along, hasn't it?
How long? How long has it been him?
Harlan encircles both of them in his arms. Alright. Yeah. That's something we're gonna have to figure out.
And Poppy's voice is muffled from the hug. It's been him since the first girl. He wants out of the Wonder Sea.
First girl?
The Lunel case?
What?
There was another Poppy.
This has happened before?
I don't know how many times before.
Then it's going to happen again.
It's not.
Do you understand that he's going to kill us all and then he's going to try it again? There's never going to be any rest.
No. No, I do not accept that. And neither are you. We're not accepting that.
Harlan, I think the only thing we can do is die.
No. No dying. Not for us. We are going to find a way. It ends with us.
As the three of you look up, you see a purple portal on the far side of the room. It widens, and it widens, and it widens, and you hear a sickening, otherworldly growl as a face of a fox emerges from the portal, one paw emerging Several tendrils of a tail follow, the other paw reaching out, and as they do, you see its flesh turn to stone. And as it moves, the stone cracks and breaks and falls to the ground. You see its open flesh begin to heal and regenerate back into fur as it is turned back into stone immediately. As it struggles its two front paws out of the portal, and now trying to pull itself out as it grasps the Sun King. And it roars out. No words, just a primordial roar. Roll for initiative.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
It is Harlan's turn.
Harlan calls out, "Gotta keep him off our dog," and runs forward next to the beleaguered king and laying a hand onto the giant lion man's shoulder. "You took one for me, I'll take one for you," and casts Warding Bond onto Ardon. Ardon gets a +1 to AC and resistance to all damage.
Thank you, friend. He heeds his now companions, and he dashes away from Reynard. But Reynard takes an attack of opportunity. That's a 15 on the attack, and it does not hit Ardon. As he deftly dodges out of the way as the tendril whips back at the spot he just was at, and he scrambles to his feet, and he dashes. It is now Reynard's turn, as the vicious monster pulls a little more of its torso out of the portal. The massive jaws of this god open, and they strike at Poppy faster than she can imagine. And he rolls a 26 on the attack.
That hits.
Its huge teeth sink into Poppy's shoulder as she yelps out in pain as it releases again. And Poppy takes 20 points of damage.
On a non-crit?
Oh.
Oh boy. Okay.
The creature roars out once more, blood seeping from its teeth. It is now Vianne's turn.
You son of a bitch! Isn't it a joy to meet you in person? I would love to tear your throat out with my own hands, but I'm afraid we have other places to be. Vianne knocks Poppy aside with a bonus action telekinetic shove from her mage hand. And this is unwilling movement, so it won't proc an opportunity attack. And seeing that Harlan has triumphed, but his fury, this creature is bearing down on Harlan, whose soul we have just wrested from the jaws of defeat. Vianne comes in with all of her speed, next to Harlan, staring down at this face that she has seen in her nightmares. I'll see you in hell, son of a bitch. She grabs Harlan right around his chest, and she casts Thunderstep. And she takes him 90 feet down the apse of this chapel. That is a con saving throw, DC 15, and Poppy is just outside of the Thunder's range.
Reynard rolls a 10, but uses a legendary resistance to succeed anyways.
This god thinks he has tricks up his sleeve, but Guile is no match for Fury. He still takes 9 thunder damage as Vianne and Harlan teleport to safety.
It roars out in pain as it rears its massive head. At the end of the turn, it regains a bit of its sense, and it uses a legendary action to teleport.
Oof.
It is not within full control. Most of its body is not in the material world yet. It is going to roll a d20. The DC for this is 15. If it succeeds, it will teleport wherever it wants to go. If it fails, it will teleport to a random location. He rolled an 18. You see this purple portal behind it warp in the air, this massive creature begins to smoke a deep, black, opaque steam from its body. And in a moment's blink, it teleports, portal and all, 60 feet ahead to Ardon. It is now Poppy's turn.
The portal begins to shimmer in color to a bright green one as Poppy casts Hunter's Mark as a bonus action and quickly knocks her arrow and aims it directly in the back of this god's head. 13 to hit. I would like to use my heroic inspiration to reroll that for a 26 to hit.
Yes.
A 26 hits. Roll for damage.
7 on the longbow, plus 4 for 11, and then the Hunter's Mark does a bonus for 1. 12 damage total.
The arrow flies through the air, and it finds its mark right in its eye, and it screams out in pain. The creature is furious as it takes a legendary action to bite Ardon. That's a natural 20. Come on. It bites down, encompassing most of his body as he screams out in pain. The creature lifts its head up as he shakes his head violently left and right before slamming the Sun King down onto the floor as he rolled a 49 for damage. But with resistance, Ardon only takes 24.
At the same time, Harlan's bond that he created with the king has him share the damage, and Harlan also takes 24 points of damage. Harlan is driven to his knees in a mirrored image of the king.
Harlan! Harlan! Stand up!
It is now Harlan's turn.
He reaches his hand to his chest, and a gentle blue light encompasses him as he casts Cure Wounds. That is a really good roll. For 18 points of healing.
As he feels his blood light on fire, but he feels the biting, cooling wind of Hercent the she-wolf enveloping around him as it heals his wounds. It is now Ardon's turn, and he knows that in this form, constantly turning to stone, constantly regenerating, this creature, this god, is on a short timer. It will have to make a choice of whether it chooses to continue to fight or flee from Artois. He's going to take that chance. He disengages, and he uses a bonus action to dash away from the creature. Reynard, furious, uses a legendary action to teleport. Once again, the DC is 15. If he doesn't succeed, it will be a random location. He rolled a 14, and it loses its turn.
Yes!
I'm now going to roll my beloved D100. That is going to determine which space within these 100 by 100 foot squares that he lands. That is a 96, and that places him right next to Vianne.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
As once more, black smoke erupts from this figure, and the portal follows along with it and opens up next to Vianne.
oh, I'm flattered that you would come to say hello. How do you do, Reynard? Woga Malum. And as Vianne utters the words, a shadow engulfs around her, taking the visage of her own face and stepping in front of her as she grips the ruby hilt of Ardon's dagger, smeared with her own tears to provide the component for summon Shadow Spawn. As this monstrous creature, looking very much like a mirror image of herself and of Reynard, stands between them. And then, praying, with a bonus action, she attempts to create a little space between them. It needs to make a DC 15 strength saving throw or be pushed 5 feet back.
Reynard the Fox rolls a 13.
Get fucked. And as the thing is pushed back between them, the shadow spawn steps into a protective space in between Vienne and Reynard, and immediately taking its turn after Vienne, this shadow screams. It needs to make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw.
Reynard the Fox rolls an 8.
Yeah!
Nice.
Yes! See how you like it! See how you like it! Feel me in your mind! Feel me bring you to terror! And it's now frightened of this little image of Vienne standing before it, and it can't come closer willingly, bitch.
It is now Harlan's turn.
Oh, he wants so badly to punch this thing in the face, but he thinks better of it. He's going to move down to be protected by the fear that Vienne's shadow is causing, and he's going to stare at him and smile and use a channel divinity to put visions of hundreds of Rhyme Wardens cutting off his path wherever he turns. He needs to make a wisdom save of 15.
Reynard the Fox rolls a 3.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good.
He cannot move more than 30 feet away from me.
This creature tries futilely to paw its way backwards, but it cannot move. It is now Reynard's turn. This creature now knows that it doesn't have a chance, as the stone rapidly forms around its body, faster than it can regenerate, and it tries its best to struggle out of the portal. The fox takes another legendary action and tries once more desperately to teleport. And he rolls a natural 20. Black mist erupts from his body. He disappears and reappears next to Harlan, but behind him and by a window. He erupts from the portal once more and shatters the window, most of his body hanging out now, dangling over the top of this castle by his hind leg. As he turns around and in desperation starts to gnaw at the leg still stuck in the portal. He gnaws and he bites and he crunches and blood erupts out of it as stone falls from his body and falls hundreds of feet down onto the city streets below. With a sickening crunch, he bites through the bone and he falls. And that is the end of combat.
Clever.
He let gravity move him out the window.
As the three of you rush over to the broken window, you gaze down hundreds of feet, and then you see it. A three-legged massive fox sprinting its way down city streets and out of the city and out of reach.
You bastardo! You're in my world now. We will hunt you to the ends of the earth. We will kill you. We will make you hurt. Harlan, God damn it!
And he rushes over and embraces her. You're right. We'll catch him. We'll get that son of a bitch.
Poppy, seeing Vienne break down and realizing the magnitude of this trickster god being released, the longbow and loose arrow that was clenched in her fist fall to the ground, and Poppy follows them swiftly to her knees, a look of utter defeat on her face.
Fables of Frost and Fur is produced by Wes Sharrow. It is edited by Alex, with sound from Komo. It contains music by Shahid Mustafafur, Jacob Pietras, Martin Puringer, We Are the Good, Ian Post, Idoke, Yehezel Raz, Caleb Etheridge, Frank Schimbach, Piotr Hummel, Young Rich Pixies, Amir Marcus, Elia Azarzar, Matthias Forster, Charlie Ryan, Kyle Preston, Stephen Bedell, and Amit Weiner. Thank you for your consideration.